All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music in real time for real people just like you and just like me. Now, Eric Clapton. I've been talking about Eric Clapton lately because I told you what was going to happen to Eric Clapton, that the world would begin to turn on Eric Clapton if they haven't already. And Eric Clapton the other day came out and basically said, look, I want to play concerts to everybody. People shouldn't have to prove anything to attend a concert, right? They shouldn't have to do anything special to attend a concert. See, and here's why I think that makes sense, because for those of you who are going to come at me and others and say, well, you're only providing one part of the information. You're not, and I say, turn on the television at any given moment, literally 24 hours a day, and you'll get the other side. Now, for those who are indignant that Clapton wants to play a concert for everybody, right? He used the word segregated or discriminated. I think those are accurate words. Here's the thing, though. The government is going to come in and basically tell the venue that you got to just do it our way. So it's probably going to be a moot point. But Clapton will, at that point, just cancel the show. And I don't blame him. I mean, he's 76 years old. By the way, Clapton did do the thing. You know, to quote our current president, he did the thing. He knows the thing, and he did the thing. All right? And he didn't go well for Eric. So Eric, you know, based on what happened to him, imagine that. Like, say you take your car to get it repaired, right? And you have a problem, or you're doing some preventive maintenance, right? Say you need to like fix your brakes or tune your brakes up so they actually make the car stop. And, you know, you do what you're supposed to do. You pay the guy, you drive off the lot, and then all of a sudden your car doesn't stop, or it's shaking, or something happened that wasn't supposed to happen. Your brakes were supposed to work great. Your car, though, is doing some other things, and that scares the crap out of you because you were supposed to have something done, preventive maintenance done, that would help you, that would help your vehicle. That's Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton was told, you better do this. You're a high-risk person, 76 years old. By the way, Eric Clapton has other things wrong with him. A couple of years ago, he said that he didn't know how much longer he was going to play the guitar based on the fact that his hands weren't working properly. So this was, you know, probably sold to Clapton like, hey, don't worry, this is going to be great. It'll work fantastic. So fast forward to now, right? And Clapton is like, yeah, you know, it's kind of the person, again, going back and warning people, don't bring your car to get it fixed here. Pretty simple. Don't bring your car here because I brought it in for one thing. I drove away and now I've got other problems. But see, what the media is doing here in this foaming at the mouth article that I went back and read, because, you know, Valerie Bertinelli, we need to listen. We need to really care about what Valerie Bertinelli is saying about Eric Clapton. Okay. It makes no sense. She was married to somebody who really liked Eric Clapton, and that was Eddie Van Halen. Although maybe there was some personal disagreement that the two had. Don't know. I'd have to go do research, but it seems like there's some kind of other bitterness thing going on there between Valerie, who, again, is basically a footnote in rock history. She was married, then got divorced from Eddie, and then was grieving wildly when Ed passed. But she was not married to Eddie when Eddie passed. And anyway, just a little footnote there, just throwing it in there, not trying to make things worse for Valerie. Okay. But maybe if she's still grieving, she should stick to grieving instead of weighing in on topics she has absolutely no clue about. Cite a statistic for me, will you? Make a point. Don't just name call, but that was a pretty low blow, literally. So the point I'm trying to make is that Clapton, who took the opposite view from this prevailing. And by the way, I will say this: there are people marching in the streets of the UK where Clapton lives. There are people in the streets of France. Last time I checked, I think there were marches in Ireland, all over the world. I think there have been significant protests of people who agree with Eric Clapton, except those things aren't being covered by anybody. They're being ignored, swept under the rug, like they're not happening. And that just do what the thing is, just do the thing. So one final point for those of you who think concerts, it should be mandatory that you've done the thing, you have proof that you did the thing. This is crazy, by the way. This is absolutely crazy. This goes against all normal human rights. This goes against the Constitution of the United States. It just, don't even get me started how just insidious this is. Not a HIPAA violation, not an invasion of someone's privacy, not seriously. All right, here's my final point, and it's a critical point. So you did the thing and you go to the show. Why are you worried about anybody who didn't do the thing? Because you're now protected. You're like the Cleveland Guardians. Worst name in the history of baseball, by the way. Just a little side note. Guardian. I figured I'd throw it in there just for fun. So you got the gate, you got the fence. This is what you're supposed to do. And you did it. So why do you care about people who don't do it? Well, there's, the epsilon variant. There's the, really? I mean, there's variants of variants. I mean, it'll go on. It's just going to go on forever. And they're going to tell you need to do another thing and another thing. And you're going to get mad because people are going to look at this and say, you're crazy. I'm not doing any of these things. I mean, we turned everything upside down and we created this cloud of fear, which is driving people to think and do things that a couple of years ago were just incomprehensible. Well, let me back up. I would say maybe 10 or 15 years ago, because we entered an era a long time ago where critical thinking went out the window, just gone. Now, let me get back to the music part of this, and I promise I'll wrap up. Clapton is one of the world's greatest musicians of all time. Just no, I mean, before this whole, him coming out as somebody who doesn't agree with the lemmings that are just walking over a cliff. All right. He will continue to be, in my estimation, one of the greatest musicians in rock history. But his legacy will be deconstructed and he will only be remembered for his rebellion against, I don't know, the government or whoever, experts, so-called experts who have not had a good track record for the last 16 months or so. It's really sad. See, he didn't have to do this. He was told to do it. He did it. Then something happened to him. Then he spoke up. It's like, my car analogy. Don't tell anybody about what happened to your car. Don't tell anybody. Keep it to yourself. Or we won't allow you to drive your car anymore. See how that analogy kind of works? So, again, I'm not a talk show host or anything, but I pretend every so often for a few minutes to try to be one. Eric Clapton, we wish you well. It's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. There's going to be more written, more said. And here's the silver lining for everybody. They're just going to lock it all down again anyway. So you might as well just go and get your refund now. Why wait for, Clapton to pull the plug on the show? Just go get your money. And I would advise Eric Clapton, you better go to places that aren't going to put you through this. I mean, for now, maybe you can come to Florida, but who knows how long that's going to last.